Hey guys, this is Russ Ward, the Lead King, and what I'm going to show you in this video is the automation process of you joining a group, the automate your marketing and sales process using AI and bots, the local business incubator official community, this group right here that I'm showing you, and an automation that I put in place so I can take some of the information that you provide to me when you fill out the questions to join the group, and then I can send you an email and have you on my email list. So you'll see that this is the group, right? And we've grown from 0 to 123 members rather quickly, which is pretty cool. Now, I didn't have this process in place for, I don't know, until like literally right now. I'm going to build it. However, I've had this in place for other groups. I just quite honestly forgot to put it in place for this one before I started. So I missed all of your email addresses, and most of you probably didn't get an email from me. But if you'd like it, we can make sure that happens. So this is the group. And what I use is a plugin by Kim Dang. Some of you know Kim. I actually interviewed her on my podcast, on my very first podcast I ever did. One of the coolest stories you'll ever hear. She actually owned a junkyard out in California, and she went from being a junkyard owner to one of the best plugin creators and digital marketers I've ever met. So anyway, this is by Kim Dang. It's a really awesome plugin that we use. So basically, what you do is you link it up to your Facebook group. And this is the page here where people request access to the group, right? And so what you do is you pop a link in there that is for your Google Sheet. So this is the Google Sheet that I'm using for all the people that come into this group. Okay. And it just gives basic information here. User ID, Facebook name, years on Facebook, and then answers to some questions, right? So we take this link, we put it into our approval page, and then once somebody comes into here, it'll populate into Group Convert, and then I have it set up to automate. So every 30 minutes, it'll take this data and it will push it to the Google Sheet. And then I also have it set up so if somebody answers all of the questions, they tell us why they want to join the group, and they also tell us why they what their email address is. It auto approves them. Now, if they don't do that, it doesn't auto approve them because some people just join all types of groups so they can spam them. So I want to make sure we can weed that out. Okay, so let's assume somebody came in and we want to send them an email. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to automate the process of somebody joining the group, getting pushed to the Google Sheet, getting sent to my email list, and then getting sent to my CRM all in one zap. So I'm going to set up the Zapier Zap for that. And so what you see now is I'm in Zapier. I don't know why that keeps on trying to bring up a video. I must want to show you my face. But I'm going to call this Zap. Join the local business builder incubator Facebook group, right? So since all the new data is sent to a Google Sheet, what we're going to do is make the trigger for this a new row in a sheet. So I'm going to select Google Sheet as the trigger. And then it's just going to be a new spreadsheet row, because every time somebody's added to this, they're just added as a new spreadsheet row down here at the bottom. So that's what's going to trigger this Zap. And then what we have to do is choose our account. I think my account's still in here. It is. And then you have to choose your spreadsheet, right? Usually the newest spreadsheet pops up. And so that's it. And then you have to choose your worksheet. A lot of people don't know that these have multiple worksheets at the bottom. Some of them do, some of them don't. This particular one does not. Okay, so now we have that. So I'm going to click continue. We could test the trigger. And these are all the people that have come in recently. So we're going to leave that one in there as our test. This one is Christine, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Christine Davis, something with a W. So we're going to click continue. Now, what we want to do from there is we want to take that information and we want to send it a couple places. I want to send it to Akumba Mail, which is my email provider. This is where I send out, say I'm having a sale, or I just want to send some information out to people that follow me. This is the platform that I use to send my emails from, and I believe it's the best one out there. I got a lifetime deal on it from AppSumo. Really, really great software, and quite honestly, I don't ever pay for sending emails anymore. I can send up to 100,000 a month at no cost, which is really awesome. So what I want to do is I'm not going to send an email from this because I'll show you where I'm going to send it from, but I want to add or update a subscriber. And my Akumba Mail account is in there. And so this is the list I want to add them to. It's the incubator. Made a list within Akumba Mail just for this group, right? And then what we have to do is we have to pull the email address from the Google Sheet. So here it is. And hold on, that might just be the question. Let me see if I can find the email address. So we got the username, we got join Facebook. So this one did not provide an email address. So let me go back up here and find somebody else who did provide an email address, just so I can show you how the process works. So that one didn't provide an email address. Let's see this one. Yeah, this one provided an email address. This one's Brandy Evans. Brandy is very interesting because she is a realtor from, I believe, Utah. And one time she was in Florida and she was driving on one of the highways down here and came across my car, and she knew it was my car because, and you see, I'm going to select her email address right there. She knew it was my car because she was driving behind me and saw it said the Lead King. Now this was at like 1:30 in the morning. I was going about 100 miles an hour, and she was able to get close enough to take a picture of my license plate and then message it to me. It was wild. I felt like it was paparazzi. It felt very, very, very special that night. So thank you, Brandy, if you're watching this. And we can, let's see here. Update existing subscriber. Yes. What that'll do is if she's in another group, it'll just pop her into this group. Do we want to double opt in? No. And then do we want to send a welcome email? We do not, because I'm going to send an email another way. So we're going to continue, and I'm going to hit test. So what this test should do is this test should send her email address over to my email list. So you're going to see we have local business incubator email list. And I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And you can see it has one subscriber. And that one subscriber is Brandy. So now she's in the email list, which is very cool. Now, what we could do is we could, if we want to be a little bit fancy, we could bring her name in here. But I don't think Akuma Mount gives me that option. So we're not going to worry about that right now. All right. So the next step I want to do is I want to send this to my Automations Plus Automation CRM. And I want to send out this email, basically just welcoming them to the group, giving them another link to the group, a button to open the group, and then just saying, hey, this is what we're going to do in the group. And then PS, why are you getting this email from Bizdom Builders? Bizdom Builders is like my platform that I've built for helping companies and people just go from an idea to a fully blown business, right? And so I give a little bit of information about Bizdom Builders down here and a link to click to learn more. So this is what this template is. Now, before we test this, I need to make an automation. And I saved making the automation because this group is all about making automations, right? So I'm going to go into automations on Automations Plus, and I'm going to create what's called a workflow. And from this workflow, I'm going to start it from scratch. And we're going to call this added to here group. So I'm going to say joined it because I didn't just randomly grab people, right? And when that happens, I'll show you what we do here. So the trigger is going to be when an opportunity pipeline stage, when a pipeline stage changes, right? So we're going to pick in pipeline, and then I have a pipeline called Local Biz Incubator Group. And then the stage is going to be join the group, right? And I'm going to show you that in a second. So anytime someone ends up in here in that stage is going to trigger this. And now what do I want it to do? I want it to send an email to that person. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the template that I made, join local business. So it fills everything in for me, right? And I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to publish it. So now, anytime somebody goes to this pipeline stage and I have their data, it's going to send them this email that I showed you. So let me go back and show you that pipeline stage. And that pipeline stage is under opportunities. And then that's a different group. This is Local Biz Incubator Group. So if anybody comes in, just dropped into here, it's going to send them that welcome email. So what we need to do is go back to Zapier, and we need to add a step. And the step to enter anything, to interact with Lead Connector or High Level, whichever one you're using, is or Automations Plus is Lead Connector. So you're going to pick Lead Connector, and then the event is we want to add or update an opportunity. So I'm going to click continue. I'm going to choose the account. Now, what we need to do is go back to the account, and to add your account into Zapier, you go to settings, and then under business profile, you slide down here, there's your API key. So we're going to click that and copy it. We're going to go back over here to Zapier. We're going to connect a new account. Paste that in there. Yes, continue to lead connector. And then what I like to do is change the name. So because I didn't do that for a long time, I have like hundreds and hundreds of connections in here and I forget what their name sometimes. So now I just edit the connection name. And this is the Bizdom Builders account. So now I know it's the Bizdom Builders account. Okay, so now that that's in there, we want to get down here to the action. So we may know their name. Actually, we probably do from pulling it in from Facebook, right? So we're going to pull full name, and it's going to pull in her name, Brandy Evans. And then if we really wanted to be fancy, we could go down here into notes, and we could do something like this. We could do, what do you want to get out of this group? She wants to learn how to automate her own business, right? And then we could do something like this. What? So that's what she wants to get from the group, right? And then what we need to do is we need to grab her email address, and it's going to be in here. There's her email address. And we're going to go down here. Now we could put a tag in here. So we could make this tag local is. So that's going to tag her to let us know that she's in that group. I'm going to mark this as a lead. We'll say true because who knows? She might become a client at some point. She hasn't yet. Now, here's the important part. We need to put her into the right spot. So she's going to be in the local business incubators group, and then she's going to be in the join group. Now, remember, when we drop her into this, that's what's going to trigger the other automation, right? So we're going to slide down here. I'm going to click continue. And then what we're going to do is test this step. So what should happen when we test this step is, I'm going to show you. Under opportunities, she should drop right in here. It should add that tag to her. And because we dropped her into here, it should send that email. Now, let me just double check. I always double check my automations before I test things. So one more time, I'm going to look at it. Pipeline stage is local biz incubator, join group. Okay, great. That's what I want it to be. And I recommend you do that too with your automations, because I can't tell you how many times it's happened where I test something and it didn't work and I'm going crazy. I'm like, why isn't that working? Well, it's just because I didn't pick the right parameter or something like that, right? So now that we confirmed that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and test this step. And so what it should do is should pop her into here. Let me go ahead and refresh this page. And if everything worked as it's planned to work, when this page refreshes, she should be sitting in here. And there she is. There's Brandy. So if we click on these little bubbles, we can open up the information about Brandy. And you can see that if we slide down here, it added the tag, local biz incubator group, created her as an opportunity, and then it sent the email. So the email came from me, and it was the same email. It pulled her name in. Hey, Brandy. And then that's it. So everything went as planned. So now we can go up here to Zapier. We can go ahead, and this is still trying to get me on video. Not trying to do a video with my face today. And I'm going to click publish. So now, every single time somebody comes into my group, what's going to happen is it's going to go to the Google Sheet. The Google Sheet's going to create a new row. It's going to add them to my Akumbo Mail email list, and then it's going to send them to Automations Plus, where they're in my CRM database, and it's going to send them a welcome email. And all of that can be done through simply setting up some automations and some triggers. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I do this every single day in my business. I think of ways like, normally if you didn't have an automated process like this, you would have to grab the email, add it to Akumbo Mail, grab the email, create an opportunity manually, send that email out, right? It could take hours and hours and hours. So all of this stuff that we do truly does save us hours and hours of time. So if you have any questions on that, just post them below the video. Appreciate Brandy cooperating with this, and hopefully you guys will get some good stuff out of this, because if you can implement even just something like this on every new thing you do, right? When you start any kind of a new project, think, how can I automate this thing? How can I move this data where I need to go? How can I send this email automatically? It'll just lighten up your load so much more. So that's all I got for you in this video. Thanks for watching.